Well, good morning, football fans. It's the third week of high school football and college football, so we're going to kick it off with campus and Salina South. Salina South is not very good, and I think campus can take them.
I'll pick campus. They let me down last week, but then we'll try again this week.
I'm going with the Crew. I'm going with the Colts.
Next, we have Heights and North. North got crushed by Independence, so I just don't know if they're going to pull one off, and I just don't think it's going to be this week. I'm taking Heights.
Heights.
Heights actually put up a lot of points against Northwest in a loss, so I'm going to go with Heights.
Next, we have Southeast and East. I think East is the stronger team here. I'm taking East.
East. I actually checked the scores from last weekend, and East and Capon were pretty close, so East.
East hasn't won a game yet, but they played a tough schedule, so I'm going with the Blue Aces.
Next, we have West and Garden City. It's in Garden City. West looked pretty good last week. I'm going to stay with the hometown team and my parents' alma mater, West High.
Yes, West did look good.
I would like to pick the Pioneers, but I'm going to give Garden City the home field advantage.
Next up, we have Bishop Carroll and Derby. I think this is the best game on the schedule. Derby is traditionally always a powerhouse. They've only played one game, so you can't really quite tell yet. Bishop Carroll's beat Northwest, and then they won last weekend. I'd like to take Bishop Carroll, but I think Derby's just going to be too strong.
It's the same thing I was saying. I'd like to take Bishop Carroll, but I'm picking Derby.
I think Bishop Carroll beat Derby last year, so Derby's got a little revenge. Bishop Carroll looked really good against Northwest.
Yeah.
Their quarterback is really mobile and he makes plays, but it's in Derby. Derby has a stellar running back by the name of Dylan Edwards. He's a D1 player, so I'm going to go with Coach Clark's team.
We have Coffeyville and Valley Center. I'm taking Valley Center.
I picked Valley Center last week, and they won. I'm picking them again.
Let's do the trifecta.
Yeah.
I'll go with the Hornets.
Yeah.
We have Andover Central and Eisenhower. Andover Central is highly ranked in 4A, especially beating Bueller last week, so I'm taking Andover Central.
Andover Central.
I'm going to go with the Jaguars.
We have Andover and Salina Central. Andover's looked pretty good so far this year. Salina Central is usually a pretty good team, but they got beat last week, so I'm taking Andover.
Andover.
Andover impressed me against May, so I'm going with Andover.
May South and Hutchinson. May South is on a roll. They have some really good athletes out there, and I see them handling Hutch pretty well.
Yes, May South.
May South has a running back that's a stud, and if he's that good, that means they've got a good offensive line, so I'm going with May South.
Mays and Newton is the next game on the schedule. Newton's put up a fight in both games. They haven't gotten blown out, and they've been playing good teams, but I think Mays is going to be too strong.
Yeah, I'm not picking them against them this week. I picked Mays.
I think Mays has underperformed a little bit, but I do think they're the better team in this game, so I'm going with the Eagles.
Next, we have Northwest and Capon. I think this is the second best game on the schedule. I think it's going to be a very competitive game, but I'm giving Northwest the edge.
Yeah, I looked at this one, and I'm going to pick Northwest, but it could be interesting.
This was a really tough one for me. I never pick against Northwest, but as I say on TV, this could be an upset alert, but I can't pick against my Grizzlies.
Next, we have Goddard and Arc City. Goddard so far has started off kind of having a down year compared to the years past. Arc City, but I don't believe has won a game. I'm sticking with the hometown team and taking Goddard.
Goddard.
I'm going with the Lions as well.
Next, we have Andale and Wellington. Andale started off really strong again. Mulvane gave him a pretty good game last week, so that was good to see, to be honest with you. But I just don't think Wellington's going to be strong enough, and I think Andale's going to win this game.
No, yet again, Andale's having a good year, so Andale.
Andale's top dog till somebody dethrones them. I'm picking Andale.
Next, we have Garden Plain and Cheney. This is always a very competitive game. I think this is going to be a really good game as well. This is kind of a toss-up for me between both teams, but I'm gonna give Cheney the edge.
Cheney looked good last week, so I picked Cheney.
This was a tough one for me. It's at Cheney, so that's why I'm going with them.
Next up, we have Mulvane and Clearwater. As I said, Mulvane looked was the most competitive against Andale they've been in several years. They look pretty good. Clearwater, as we mentioned at the beginning of the year, lost a quarterback and some stuff, but they won the first game handily, but got blown out by Rose Hill. So I'm taking Mulvane in this game.
Yeah, Mulvane looked good last week, and Mulvane Clearwater is typically a pretty good game. Having gone Mulvane, I'm going to pick Mulvane this week. Probably every week, but yeah.
I struggled with this game. I think it's a toss-up. Mulvane is really playing well, but I'm going to go with the home team on this one as well.
Next, we have Sedgwick and Cherokee Southeast. Taking Sedgwick in that game.
Sedgwick is Cherokee Southeast in Kansas, isn't it? Okay.
I think it's in
yes.
southeast Kansas.
Okay, Sedgwick still.
Since I don't know where Cherokee Southeast is, and Sedgwick's pretty good, I'm going with Sedgwick.
If you go to Table Rock and you're going down towards Pittsburgh,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
right outside of Pittsburgh.
Spend a lot of time in that corridor, so yeah.
For college games, we got some pretty good games on tap. We have Virginia Tech and West Virginia. I'm going to go with Virginia Tech over the Big 12 on this one.
I really hate picking against the Big 12, but I've seen a couple of Virginia Tech games this season, and they look really good. That North Carolina game was pretty impressive, so I've got to pick Virginia Tech.
I really enjoy picking against the Big 12.
Shocking, Jim.
And granted, this game is in Morgantown, but Virginia Tech's ranked 15th, and they've looked really good. They beat a good North
Yeah.
Carolina team, so I'm going with the Hokies.
Did you see the pride and joy of the Big 12 got upset by Oregon?
Of the Big 12?
Big
Oh,
10.
Pride and joy of the Big 10. Did I
Yeah.
say Big 12?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, of the Big 10
I
got
did.
upset by Oregon.
I did. That was a good game to watch, too. Yeah.
When you play a tough out-of-conference schedule, sometimes that happens. It makes you better in the long run, though.
You can ask Texas about that, too.
I wouldn't say Oregon is a top-notch team the last couple of years, but that tells me probably the Big Ten's down this year.
It would tell me that, too.
Yeah. Next up, we have Baylor and Kansas. I'd made mention that I wasn't going to pick Kansas till they won a game.
They did win a game.
They did win a game, but I just couldn't pick them against Coastal Carolina because Coastal Carolina is
Yes.
really good and it was at home.
They are.
But I think Kansas can upset Baylor this weekend, so I'm taking Kansas.
I am not. I am going to pick Baylor.
I actually can see what the sheriff is saying, but until Kansas proves a little more, I'm going with Baylor.
We have Florida International and Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech will be too strong in this game.
Texas Tech, it'll be interesting, though, but Texas Tech.
Florida International is traditionally pretty good, but it's in Lubbock. I'm going to go with the Red Raiders.
Next, we have Rice and Texas. Texas proved exactly what we've been saying all year. They don't belong in the SEC. Arkansas is usually a bottom rung to, at the most, a middle rung team in the SEC, and they got the crap beat out of them.
West, even.
Yeah.
Not even the whole.
And so, if it wasn't for the fact that I'm losing to Jim, 46 games to 12, and he's at 47 and 11, I would take Rice because I think Rice might be able to beat him. But I am going to take Texas in this game.
I don't think Rice will beat Texas. I'm picking Texas, but I am really looking forward to watching them in the SEC.
Rice is a former Nebraska quarterback in Luke McCaffrey, so they are going to be very dynamic. That being said, it's in Texas. Texas is vastly overrated, but I still got to give it to the Longhorns.
We have Oklahoma State and Boise State. Again, I think I'm going to have to pick against Big 12. Oklahoma State has not looked very good this year so far.
No, that
Boise State's pretty good. It's in Boise State. They're tough to beat on that blue field. I'm taking Boise State.
Yeah, really close game last weekend with Tulsa. They squeaked it out, but I'm going to pick Oklahoma State. I'm going to stick with the Big 12 this time around, unlike with West Virginia, but I don't know that it'll be a strong showing.
Oklahoma State really struggled against a poor Tulsa team. Tulsa has some decent teams, but this one's bad, and they look pretty bad against that one. And I will go with Boise State in the blue field as well.
Next up, we have Iowa State and UNLV, and you called it. Iowa looks strong. They're going to be a contender in the Big Ten. They shut down Bryce Hall and made Purdy have to scramble a lot, so he wasn't very accurate. It was a very good game, but they are playing UNLV. I'm sticking with Iowa State on this one.
They even pulled Purdy and put in another quarterback, which could be an interesting season for Iowa State because the other quarterback actually looked pretty decent. So I'm going to pick Iowa State, but that was a good game last weekend.
It's pretty common. Big 12 starts out ranked pretty high in the preseason. They play out of conference, and they get brought back to reality. It's as such with Iowa State and Iowa.
Unlike Nebraska, who doesn't start ranked at all and then still has a poor showing in conference games.
Wow.
Yeah,
That would be true, Laura.
yeah.
Thank you for your analysis on that.
Well, that's why they bring me.
We have Nevada and
I
Kansas
didn't
State.
make my pick.
Oh, well, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm going with Brees. I think Brees is going to pad his stats in this game, and I think Iowa State will win. Sorry.
Well, no, you needed to get your pick in. Yeah.
If you wouldn't spend so much time trying to trash the Big 12, maybe you would get your picks in.
Yeah, it's so easy, though. It's low-hanging fruit.
I understand.
All right, next up we got Nevada and Kansas State. This is going to be interesting now. Losing the quarterback like we have. Last news I saw is maybe it's not as major as they think. Maybe he'll be back. I'm not sold on the backup quarterback at all. I am going to take K-State because it's at home. Nevada's no pushover, though. Nevada's a pretty good team, so it's going to be interesting.
I can only say, when the quarterback went down last weekend, it completely deflated the entire stadium. So I can imagine what it did to the team as well. So my only hope is they make some adjustments on offense. Defense really carried the second half, so long as they stay strong, I think K-State's going to win this one. And then I do hope Skylar makes it back, our quarterback, just because it's been he's one of my favorites. It's been a long story for him, and I'd like to see him finish out his career.
He's been there like 8 years, I believe.
5.
5, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's a super senior.
Yeah,
But he's played his entire time. He played as freshman.
I was watching the Coastal Carolina KU game. They had a guy that was a 7th-year senior.
Oh, jeez.
He could almost be like a doctor.
He spent a lot of time there.
But as far as this game, Nevada's legit. This game's at
Yes.
K-State. The quarterback that got replaced in Thompson, he was a big recruit, but I've seen him play. He just hasn't produced on the field. Maybe this is his game. It's in Manhattan, so I'm going to go with the Wildcats.
And Laura, you were at the game last week. It was Owen's first birthday. He was decked out in K-State stuff, and he made the Manhattan newspaper.
This weekend's actually his first birthday, but it was his first tailgate. That's when
Oh,
he made the
first
paper. for.
tailgate.
Yeah, so we
Okay.
have a tailgate birthday party this weekend. There's going to be balloons and the whole deal.
That is awesome.
It is on his first birthday, so I'm looking forward to it. He got to see his first touchdown, and then he left the game. He went to bed. So
True K-State fan.
yeah,
right there.
yeah, he knows touchdown now. Yeah.
Well, Jim, we'll let you take the next game, the slaughter that's going to happen, but go right ahead.
Wow. First, to prolong this, big shout out to the Kansas Cornhusker Club and Emerson Biggins West. Every time Nebraska has a football game, they have a big Nebraska area, so it's really fun. If you're a Huskers fan or if you just like football, you should go out there. It's a really good time.
We are not sponsored
But nice.
by that plug.
Oh yeah, no plug. But it is a good time. Tip your waitresses. But I'm stalling. But yeah, this game's not going to be pretty. On another note, Tim Myers got season tickets to Oklahoma, and I'm going to get to go to an Oklahoma football game this year. And yeah, they'll win this game too.
Just not the Nebraska one.
Yeah, no.
Nebraska tried their hardest to get out of this game.
That's the rumor. That's a rumor. Pure
I think
rumor.
there are press conferences about it. I'm going to pick Oklahoma. So
So, another reason not to go to Emerson Biggins on Saturdays because it's home of the Nebraska fans.
Yes.
the Kansas Cornhusker Club.
Kansas Cornhusker.
Yeah.
Good people.
I do like Emerson Biggins. They have good food there. I just will avoid it now on Saturday afternoons. So,
You're welcome anytime.
At least the West location.
yeah, at least the West location. This is a no-brainer. I mean, it's a Nebraska. It just is not good. They can't compete in the Big Ten. They'll never compete with Oklahoma. At least as long as they have their coach and the recruits that he keeps getting for a supposed national championship football coach.
Wow.
And so, but this is going to be a blowout.
Wow.
It will be Oklahoma by a lot.
You're very passionate about this
He
game.
did not even glance your way.
No.
I'm right here in the middle, feeling a little uncomfortable.
I had a tiger.
Well, I had to listen to all the Big 12 quips, and so I had to make
Fair.
up for it.
Very fair.
It's supposed to be nice weather Friday, and it's been a really good football season. No major injuries to the high school kids that we've seen, which is always a good thing. And so get out and support the kids, and we'll see you next week.